News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, details are still emerging as the U.S. and Iran prepare to formally sign their interim peace deal on Friday. A near final draft of the Memorandum of Understanding shows Iran is set to receive sanctions waivers that will allow it to sell oil immediately, with other financial incentives deferred. Bloomberg Middle East correspondent Abir Abu Omar has the key takeaways from the 14-point draft.
First of all, an end to the war on all fronts. The U.S. will take back its troops from around the region over the next 30 days and remove the naval blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has agreed to do the same. But then perhaps some of the most sticking contention points in this MOU include what the U.S. says would be the unblocking of frozen assets for Iran. It didn't give a specified time period for that. The lifting of the oil sanctions as well. That's another point that the United States has made in this MOU.
Bloomberg's Abir Abu Omar reporting there from Dubai. President Trump says there's one key takeaway from the agreement.
Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That's what it says. It won't have one to buy, to develop. They will not have a nuclear weapon. And I would say that's about 99.9% of what I wanted.
President Trump made those comments as heard right here on Bloomberg Radio at the G7 meetings in France. The president scheduled to hold a news conference at 10:30 a.m. Wall Street time, and we will bring that to you live here on Bloomberg Radio and on the Bloomberg Business app.
Nathan, Democratic Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is blasting President Trump's decision to go to war in the first place. And Warren spoke on Bloomberg's Balance of Power.
America has spent literally tens of billions of dollars halfway around the world. 14 American service members have died. Uncounted numbers of people in the Middle East have died. And Donald Trump still can't explain how one family in America is any better off.
And you can catch the entire interview with Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren on our new video hub, available on the Bloomberg Business app and always on Bloomberg.com.
All right, Karen, let's get now to the latest primary results across the country. Voters headed to polls in 4 states and the District of Columbia. The biggest races to watch were 2 runoffs in Georgia, where President Trump's endorsement led to mixed results. In the Republican Senate race, Trump-backed Congressman Mike Collins defeated former University of Tennessee football coach Derek Dooley by an 11-point margin, 55.5% to 44.5%. Collins says he's ready for the fight ahead in November.
And y'all know what the mission is. It's to put a Republican in that seat and get rid of that John Ossoff in November. Return this seat to the people of Georgia.
And Mike Collins will go on to face Democrat John Ossoff in a race that could decide control of the Senate in November.
Meanwhile, Nathan, in the governor's race, President Trump's favored candidate, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, lost to billionaire Rick Jackson 52.7 to 47.4%.
Tonight, you made your voice heard loud and clear. Tonight, we did more than win a runoff. Tonight, we proved the people of Georgia are in charge.
And Rick Jackson spent more than $100 million of his own money in one of the most expensive primary races for governor in U.S. history. He'll face former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in the general election. Georgia Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock joined Bloomberg's David Gura and gave his thoughts on the upcoming Peach State election.
It's a purple state, so you got to convince, all kinds of people to vote for you. I did it 5 times in Georgia in less than 3 years. It's doable. Of course, I'm rooting for my brother, John Ossoff, and I think he will do well against whomever they put up. I think Keisha Lance Bottoms will do well in this election.
And Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock.
Well, Karen, it was also a historic primary night in Washington, D.C. For the first time in 36 years, Democrats picked a nominee for delegate to Congress who's not Eleanor Holmes Norton. Councilmember Robert White ran away with that nomination with 63.2% of the vote. The 89-year-old Norton decided not to run again after 18 terms. And they're still counting the votes in the D.C. mayor's race with 64% of ballots counted. Janice Lewis George leads Kenyon McDuffie 52.8 to 36.6%. The race will move to additional rounds of counting if no one wins more than 50% of that vote. Lewis George is a self-described Democratic socialist, and President Trump's threatened a new federal takeover of the district if she wins the mayor's race.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.